In this video, I'm going to show you how to forecast the invoices for a building and construction project, and then raise the first invoice for a 5% deposit. In this demonstration, I'm going to use an inquiry that received a $500 deposit to prepare the formal contract. This payment will be credited to the 5% deposit invoice. I'm starting from an inquiry with a status of contract items created. The next transition is invoice and forecast. To get to this stage, the following videos are recommended. How to convert a BOQ estimate to a proposal. Managing formal contracts. Preparing contract items. You will find these videos under step 3 of the training program. Let's start by taking a look at the contract. Click on Related Records. At the top, go to Contracts on the side. Open the link. If you click on the contract items, you can see the proposal was grouped by recipe. Proposals can be grouped multiple ways to support various invoice requirements for different types of jobs. When the invoice is created, the line items on the invoice reflect the contract structure. In this scenario, we will invoice 5% of the contract value, so 5% of each item. Click on the Summary tab. Go back to the inquiry record. Before we click on the invoice and forecasting, let's look at the different types of invoicing. Progress payments, normally tied to project milestones as a percentage of the contract value. Due and charge, billing based on time and materials. Recurring invoices, invoices based on frequency billing, such as monthly service and maintenance agreements, which can also include due and charge for extras. Cost plus contracts, billing happens based on actual costs plus a markup or fee, rather than strict stage percentages. Progress billing, also known as WIP, common in longer projects. Payments are invoiced monthly based on % of work completed. Retainers. Often 5 to 10% is withheld from each payment until project completion, per local regulations. Builders Excellence supports all these invoicing requirements. In this video, we are going to demonstrate the first to invoice by progress payments. If you included a payment schedule in your proposal, it is displayed under the Finance tab. Click on Finance and go to Payment Schedule. This inquiry already has the payment schedule set up as an example. While the exact breakdown can vary based on location, contract terms, and project scope, a common invoicing structure by project stage looks like this. We are going to raise the 5% deposit and forecast the renaming progress payments. These projected dates can be linked to our project schedule, so they are automatically updated if timelines change. Go back to the Summary tab and click on Invoice and Forecast button. In the first tab, you can see the contract value. As we haven't forecasted this project yet, the pending forecasts are 0. Therefore, the balance of the contract needs to be forecasted. We can see the credit of $500 plus tax is available to assign. This value displays all credits linked to the account, so they can be used on future invoices. As we have not raised an invoice yet, the total invoiced is 0 and no items are being cancelled. Over on the left are the customer's details and their payment terms. This account has 7-day payment terms, which means the due date of the invoice will be 7 days from the date it's created. Below we can see the related record links and the WIP calculations. As this project has not started, there are no values to display. Click on Proceed to Job Forecasts. As this is a new contract, there are no forecasts. Click on Create New Forecast. Forecasts can be manually added, but cannot exceed the contract value. For example, to invoice 50% upfront and 50% on completion. Complete the forecast title, date, and claim percentage. The claim amount will be automatically calculated. Now click on the plus symbol to add the additional 50%. The date invoiced forecasted is the date you expect this to invoice this amount. This date can be automatically updated by linking it to the forecast key date. This date is linked to the job record, which can be linked to your project schedule. Watch the Managing Key Dates video for more information. If you enter a value over 100%, when you click on Save Forecast, it will produce an error message, preventing you from saving. You cannot forecast a value greater than the balance not forecasted, excluding tax. Making sure your percentages do not exceed 100%. If you use percentages, you may have a small rounding difference. For example, This contract was $225,697.03. We cannot divide 3 cents in half. Therefore, we have a 1 cent difference displayed here. To ensure the full contract value is forecasted, I will add 1 cent to one of the line items. Now click on Save Forecast Changes to proceed and confirm. Once the forecasts are created, you will receive a confirmation message. Click on Close. You now have 2 open forecasts. If you need to change your forecasts, click on Create or Update Forecast. This will take you back to the tab to set up the forecast details. This time we will use the Calculate Forecast button to automatically generate the forecast values. First, click on the Delete icon, then Delete to remove the forecast. Now click on Calculate Forecast and choose from the options available. In this example, we are going to use Payment Schedule from the inquiry and click on Calculate. The rows are automatically populated with the correct key dates, percentages, and values. Check the rounding if there is a difference. It is not possible to adjust the values on calculated forecasts. To forecast the full amount, add a row for the rounding difference and add the 1 cent. You can invoice this amount with one of the other forecasts. Click on Save Forecast Changes. If you do not need to generate an invoice, then close the widget using the X at the top. If you are ready to proceed to the invoice on tab 3, tick the Forecast to Invoice. We will choose the deposit plus the rounding. Now, click on Generate Invoice from selected forecasts. Then on this tab is the breakdown of your line items. The line items will be displayed. At the start of this video, we looked at the contract line items. These items match the contract and the 5% has been applied to all. Watch the Invoicing Progress Claims video for more information on the Bulk Claim button. Then I'm gonna proceed and click on Next, and you will be directed to tab 4. Under the blue section, you can see the forecast values being claimed and the remaining forecasts. On the items being claimed, you can now apply the credits. Click on Update Payment Allocation of your current claim to be directed to tab 5. The value of the credits is displayed. Enter the amount to allocate, or click on Apply Maximum. This will copy the full value across. Scroll down to the forecast list. The items with the padlock are not being invoiced at this stage. To allocate the credit, you can manually add a credit amount to each forecast. Click on the plus button and select the credit, then enter the amount to allocate. You will be alerted if you try to allocate a value greater than the credit. Otherwise, click on the Delete icon and use the Pro Rata button instead. The allocation is automatically applied. Scroll back to the top and click on Update, Allocate, and Credit Invoice. Enter your invoice details. You can use a title and description if required. The due date is automatically calculated from the payment terms. Click on Create Invoice to proceed. The invoice is now automatically generated. You will be redirected to the invoice record to check the details and send the invoice to the customer. Watch the video and sending invoices next. Now return to your inquiry record by clicking on the link. Your status has now been updated. You can either wait for the invoice payment or continue to move forward and prepare the schedule. Watch the Create Projects and Tasks video next.